Derek O'Brien, because Derek, what's interesting, and I think that was the slight debate of words you had with the finance minister this week when you talked about cowboy constitutionalism, because it was interesting, and there's been this kind of debate about why should the Rajya Sabha be able to hold bills to ransom, as it were. Many questioning the fact that it's unelected house gets, when a government has come in with a mandate of 282 MPs, overwhelming majority in the Lok Sabha, that a few good or bad men, depending on how you look at it, and women, can block a bill like GST. Even though the TMC, I know, supports GST.
I walked in late, so first let me make a little correction to, unless the Congress have now deputed themselves to be the Trinamool spokespersons, because we are not on the same page as the Congress are on the GST. Let me be very clear on that. We wanted the GST bill to be passed 6 months ago, but between the BJP and the Congress, when one was in government, the other was in opposition, they have made the GST into, you know what GST stands for, of course, for both of them.
Goods and service tax.
No, go slow tactics.
Okay.
Okay, this is for both the BJP and the Congress, because when the BJP was in opposition, they went go slow. Now the Congress has come, go slow. And the regional parties have been the most consistent in this. We've been the most consistent. We've said on the floor of the House that bring GST. Of course, it's not the perfect GST. It's not the perfect GST. So I think the Congress and the BJP don't need to blame anybody else. They need to work it out among themselves and bring it fast. Now to get to your question on constitutional cowboys, which I called the leader of the House. The reason I said that, because let me give you some examples, 2 examples. The first example of cowboy constitutionalism. Pandit Nehru, when he was heading a government, for every 10 bills passed, 1 was an ordinance. Janata Party, 70s, for every 10 bills passed, 1.6 was an ordinance. UPA, every 1.9 bills passed, 10 bills passed, 1.9 was an ordinance. NDA, every 10 bills passed, 3 are an ordinance. This is my first point. Why I called Mr. Jaitley a cowboy constitutionalism man is because now he is also giving statements outside the House saying that the Rajya Sabha is useless, they are blocking bills. However, having said that, we're happy with what the Prime Minister said in his speech. The Prime Minister after that came and clarified the importance of the Rajya Sabha. So that's what the point of being of making the statement cowboy constitutionalism, because we think, because Sonia, we were discussing the Constitution, and the Constitution, the Constituent Assembly, which was set up in 1946, was actually a precursor to the Rajya Sabha, because they were all indirectly appointed, indirectly elected.
And brought in some of our bright
minds. Imagine Mr. Jaitley lost the Lok Sabha election, we would have been deprived of his wisdom if there wasn't a Rajya Sabha.
Sonia, I think Derek's solution is very simple and very good. He said, don't call it GST, call it GFT, go fast track.
But tell me again,
Mr. Prabhu is now only into track because he's now our railway minister, so he has a little bit of a one-track mind, but we won't.
But Lord, I just want to ask you that when you come, just
want to make 2 comments. One, I agree with what Lord Desai said. Disruption is not the answer. Parliament is debate, deliberate, legislate. And I think today, last week in Parliament, we saw a good example where a BJP member said something, the Congress member got upset, and then those of us in the middle, and I think both the BJP and the Congress were both very gracious, and we got the Rajya Sabha to run. But this, I object to drawing a parallel between the House of Lords and the Rajya Sabha.
Absolutely.
Because except for 12 members of the Rajya Sabha, who are nominated members, leave them out, the balance 220 members, we are all indirectly elected members. You need 50 MLAs who have been elected by the people, approximately 40 to 50 MLAs depending on which state, to come there. So this debate, which the leader of the House in Rajya Sabha, I think he got into it because it suits the BJP now. The reason I use the term cowboy constitutionalism is because you mustn't look at the constitution like that. The Congress representative is here, the BJP representative is here. I want to ask them, the founding fathers of the Constitution took under 3 years to write our Constitution. It's been 19 years, 1996, since the Women's Reservation Bill has been brought here. A small party like mine, we're not actually so small, we have 46 MPs. Out of our 34 Lok Sabha MPs, 35% are women, 12 out of 34. So we should be giving less now. What should the BJP do? What should the Congress do? What should everyone else do? Even if we haven't brought the Women's Reservation Bill, let's see some action. Bring the women into Parliament. You know, because we have this easy thing. You know, these regional parties, they are not reliable. BSP, Samajwadi, Trinamool, they are. a BJD. But I think we are much more responsible and much more reliable, and we truly can make it work. Action of Women's Reservation Bill is a good